Hi, this is Congressman Randy Nagelbauer, and welcome to the Empowerment Project. The founders of this country intended for America to be a nation of empowerment where people were free to work hard and enjoy the fruits of their labor, as well as a nation where you were personally responsible for your own destiny. Each week, I sit down with policymakers to discuss ways we can make America less dependent on the federal government. With me is my good friend from Texas, Congressman Pete Olson from the 22nd District of Texas. He recently introduced H.R. 5525 that would permanently lift the ban on offshore drilling. Pete, thanks for being here today.
No, thank you to my colleague from Texas. I really appreciate it, Randy, and thanks for founding this empowerment project. It's really a great way to get the American people understanding what's going on up here in Washington and how we can empower them and not the federal government to take care of the problems they face.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the things, Pete, that I know that you share my view about this is that a nation that doesn't have any power to keep its economy going can't be a nation that's empowered. And one of the things we know is America is very dependent on other countries to furnish our oil. I think almost 70% of our oil, and in many cases 10% of our gasoline. And recently, with the events in the Gulf, where we had this very tragic occurrence where we had the oil well go afoul, and we're working to get rid of that problem and also to mitigate the damages of that. But some people would use that as an opportunity to basically keep us from drilling anywhere in the Gulf. And you've been taking the lead because you realize how important the Gulf is to our energy independence. Can you talk to the viewers a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, I'd be happy to. I mean, largest oil spill in American history. And it certainly had an impact on some of the industries there. The seafood industry and the tourism industry, they're struggling, but they're going to bounce back. Unfortunately, the empowerment that's going to come from this is not going to empower the American people. It's going to empower our foreign nations and increase our dependence on foreign oil. This is all because of the American government imposing a moratorium on deep water drilling. There are about 33 rigs out there that right now are incurring costs from anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million per day sitting idle. No business, no company can incur those costs. They're going to move overseas, and when they do, they're going to take those jobs with them. 150,000 jobs is one estimate I've seen here in the Gulf Coast. We can do so much better than that. We need to end this moratorium. That's what the bill I introduced, bipartisan bill, bicameral with the Senate as well, was saying to the President, we need to end the moratorium. We need to produce American sources of energy, American jobs. We need to empower Americans, not foreign governments and foreign entities that don't necessarily have our best interests at heart.
Well, you're exactly right. And you know, one of the things I think about energy independence in this country, it's not only just an economic security issue. You mentioned the thousands of jobs that could be lost about this, but really it's a national security issue as well, that we are very dependent on other countries to furnish our energy on a daily basis. And not all those countries are all that friendly to our country. They like our money. But down the road, if we become more and more dependent on these other countries and less dependent on our domestic production, I think down the road that has huge consequences for us, both strategically from an economic and a national security standpoint. And one of the things I subscribe to, if you want to talk about empowerment, is a strategy that develops all of America's energy resources, and not just moving to one or the other, because what we know is we have a huge demand for energy in this country, and if we're not able to meet that, then obviously that's not very empowering. There's the technology really to continue to drill safely, and we have drilled safely. And how does your bill address moving forward if we lift the ban?
The bill is very simple. I mean, the bill just basically says we're going to end the moratorium and start re-drilling, start drilling again with these deep water rigs. I mean, the administration, they had a study very quickly. They sent some experts out to all 33 of these rigs that are affected by it, looked at them, and didn't find any safety issue from what I can tell. Nobody's told me about that, and I've asked administration officials, what's the systemic problem here with drilling? They don't have one. There's another agenda here, and I think it hurts America's dependence on foreign oil, increases our dependence on foreign oil. As you said, national security issues, and exports American jobs, good, high-paying jobs overseas. We have the resources in our country to become energy independent. We just need to make the commitment as a government and as a nation. Unfortunately, the Obama administration is going the exact opposite way.
Pete, thank you for being on our program today, and thank you for introducing that important legislation. As we said at the beginning of the program, a nation that doesn't have any power, any energy to run its economy is a nation that can't be empowered. And so if you'd like to learn more about the Empowerment Project, I encourage you to visit my website at www.randy.house.gov and click on the Empowerment button. Thank you for tuning in, and this is Congressman Randy Nagelbauer. My special guest today has been Pete Olson from Texas.